The very first vaccination for influenza was developed in 1945, and since that time, no country has ever chosen to vaccinate its entire population from seasonal flu. Why, you ask? Because infectious diseases such as influenza have a nasty habit of changing and modifying between outbreaks. What this means for us is that after curing the seasonal flu, the very next flu season, we could be looking at a variation of the virus that is very recognisable from the last. So the prospect of the last vaccination protecting us from the new strain are slim to none. So what does the proposition propose to do then? Buy enough of the new vaccine and pay to have it administered to those 4.5 million people again? The idea is completely unfeasible. We must deal with the problem the way we've done so for years. Treat the ill, and those who wish to become vaccinated, let them come. My friends, I truly fail to see the benefit of this motion before us. The idea holds no merit. The system that we have in place, the one that has been in place for so many years, works. It has always worked. Why must we fix something that isn't broken? Immunization of the entire population, it's based upon the idea that if everyone is immune, then the virus cannot spread, and thus will die. Sure, it worked for smallpox, but so why not here? But there's a problem. The problem today is that in our health-conscious society, such vaccinations are not exactly met with open arms by everyone. With the infamous swine flu vaccine being administered to my school tomorrow, my parents have told me not to get it, informing me that a perfectly healthy young man such as myself does not need it. They tell me I eat well, I get what exercise I need, and my immune system is nearly at its peak. So the last thing I need is such an unnecessary stress to my immune system. Now I'm sure the views of my parents, if expressed, would be disputed by a doctor or some sort of specialist, but that is not my point. My point is that my parents are certainly not the only ones that feel the way. They're certainly not the only parents that will stop their children from getting the vaccination. So what does the proposition propose we do then? Again, will you force the vaccination on them? Upon me? If you don't, then the entire concept will fall apart. But you must, but you can't. But what about the long-term health risks of these vaccinations? Recently, there's been a strong build-up of evidence pointing to the idea that we are too clean for our own good. The idea is simple. Just as any athlete must exercise and become used to exercise, the same is true for our immune system. If we continue to vaccinate every possible threat by putting up more and more protective walls, then what is left for our immune system to truly fight against? Without that exercise and training, how can that athlete expect to win any competitions? For as long as we've been on this earth, there have been humans dealing with diseases, viruses, and so on. And the fact of the matter is, there always will be. And throughout the millennia, we've been changing, adapting, evolving. Humans passing down their adaptations to their children and then to their children. It's become a part of who we are. Battle-hardened, we have earned the right to live on this planet. My friends, now to the point. Over-vaccination and over-sanitization denies our body the opportunity to develop a normal, natural response to foreign substances. A natural response that we've developed over the millennia. A natural response that has kept us alive all this time. A natural response that we need. There is strong evidence. This is why autoimmune diseases such as asthma, Crohn's disease, multiple sclerosis, and allergic diseases such as eczema are on the rise in Western countries. But, interestingly, many less developed countries have low or no occurrences of these diseases, although second-generation immigrants of the US and other Western countries have started to experience them. If this proposal were to be followed through today, we would be setting ourselves up for an inevitable hard blow. Vaccinations against influenza will end up doing only more harm than good. Thank you.